Force in February of '87. These were brand new. When they sent me to tech school up in Chinook, they had 3 of these trucks, and they were like, "Do not touch." You know, they're brand new. So once I got to my permanent base down at Tyndall, we had 3 of these and 1 big truck. These trucks are meant for either small frame aircraft or what's called a quick response vehicle, QRV. They can get out of the station a lot quicker and get on scene quicker than the big trucks. So they would come in, they would hit a what's called a rescue path on the rescue side of the aircraft. That would allow the pilot or passengers to, a safe area to get out. And by that point, hopefully the bigger trucks are coming in to actually extinguish the fire. This truck, I was looking at the spec plate, was built in 1986 and rebuilt in 2002. So for as old as they are, it's still a pretty good truck, you know. So I thought we'd start on the left side, move to the right side, front, rear, and then into the cab. Your front left here, there used to be like a booster reel here, but a lot of bases took that booster reel out because it only gave about 60 gallons a minute out of your hand line, and they hooked just a regular pre-connect in there, 1 3/4, and you would charge it with that handle there. But it was only a 1-inch booster line. Up here is just a compartment storage space for whatever you want to put in. A lot of people will put in hose for a resupply operation or something like that. When a tanker would come up behind them, they can take the hose off of here and connect to the tanker. But whatever you decide to use for that one. This is your water fill. Does anybody remember from last night's PowerPoint the maximum GPM we want to try to put in at one time through this? 100 gallons a minute. Now obviously a hydrant probably isn't going to give that to us, but if somebody comes up with a tanker or something, we need to keep an eye on it, you know, not do it too fast. This is your foam fill. How many GPM max? 75. Yep. So if you can remember 75, just remember, don't go over 75 on either of these. These are drains. If you need to drain the water tank, I do not recommend using this. I would just shoot it out the turret and empty it. It takes a while. This switch here, I've always been told not to touch. When they first bought these trucks, you engage the pump and just set for a few seconds, they'd start overheating real quick. So they retrofitted it with like a relief valve. You know how on a pressure washer it'll shoot out the bottom? It's supposed to work like that, and when they go in to work on things, they can shut it off with that. So I don't know exactly what that does. It's just something with that relief valve. Back here, you've got your two 24-volt batteries connected in parallel. This is the foam proportioning system we had on the PowerPoint. If you take all these bolts off, the truck should have came with 2 plates. It only came with 1 though. It came with 3%. If you get 6% foam, there's a plate in there that you change out to where it'll proportion the foam correctly at 6% instead of 3%. So we just need to make sure we only put 3% foam in here since we don't have that other plate. These are air actuated valves, so if one of the air hoses break or something, you can try to force this up and lock it in over there to get foam. If you've got foam, if you hit the foam switch in there and you're not getting foam out, first thing I'd come back is check these little metal tabs and pull them up and lock them in. And that
both of them.
Get you some foam. Yep. I think there's 3 of them total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a 3rd one back there in the back. When we first got the truck, they installed a battery switch back here. This didn't come with the truck. That's something that Bob and them installed because they were having battery issues. Thanks. Any questions?
It's non-existent.
Your tire pressure should be 60 psi if you check your tires.
There's no seal lift.
In your engine compartment, this is your radiator fill here, and you've got a sight glass
We can regroup, huh?
to check your sight. This is an air restrictor indicator on your air filter. If it's pulled down and red, you can go ahead and try to reset it by pushing this in, but the next time you look at it, if it's red again, it's probably time for a new air filter or a cleaning. Your engine oil is right here. Your transmission fluid is here. That's about 4 foot long dipstick. So be prepared for that. Let's see here. Check the conditions of your belt and your fan, and that's really about it up here.
Set the transmission running at idle.
Yes. You do a cold check first just to make sure there's some in there, and then you get it up to normal, the transmission up to normal operating temperature, and check it again. Diesel fuel, it uses just regular diesel fuel. In an emergency, it could use aircraft fuel, but we shouldn't have to worry about that. Anybody remember how many gallons?
42.
48, I think, ain't it? I might be wrong.
I thought it was 44.
Okay, we'll have to double check. For some reason, I was thinking 48. This is the cylinder bottle for your dry chemical. If you're going to use your dry chemical, you'll want to make sure this is open. Okay, because this is what's going to pressurize your dry chemical tank to get the dry chem out. Usually leave them turned off, because over time they'll start leaking down on you. Okay. It's just an extra storage compartment. You can have, only your imagination will tell you what to put in there. This is your dry chemical line. Once you turn on your bottle and you charge the dry chemical, you can either do it from in the cab or you can do it from right here. So you hit the first one, and that's going to put pressure from your tank and from your nitrogen tank into your dry chemical tank. Hit the second one, and it'll take dry chemical from your tank and bring it up to your nozzle here. And then when you open your nozzle, you got dry chem. Thank you. Inside of here, that's your dry chemical tank, 500 pounds of dry chemical. If y'all want to look, there's a safety feature on this tank. There's a red tab right here on top of the cap. If you go to take the cap off and that little plunger is sticking up, it means it's pressurized. You don't want to try to take it off. Push it down. If it pops back up, it's definitely pressurized. If you push it down and it stays down, it probably just got stuck up for some reason. We're kind of having some light issues. They don't really make these lights anymore, I don't guess. They're hard to find. But you got your headlights and stuff, obviously. Anybody remember how much your bumper turret's going to give you? 250. Very good. Awesome. The two things up here. Cool your windows. Yep. And the switch is a little yellow valve inside up on the roof there. Turn it on. Your pump's got to be engaged for it to spray water, though. That's where it's coming from. Roof turret, how much?
500.
Yep, it's 500 and 250, just half. They said the bumper turret was working okay today. Going back, sometimes it gets stuck going to the left, but they said it was working.
All right earlier when I was in it.
Yeah, they said it was working okay. So if you want to try it, you can. If not, that's okay. And then we'll walk to the rear. Came in to resurface it. Tells you about how far from the top it should be with whatever poundage it is. So to operate the dry chem, you've got a running fuel fire. Go ahead and pull out your hose. Turn on your nitrogen. And either, if you're way out there, you don't have to run back and hit these switches unless you want to. You can tell your driver charge them. And you'll have dry chem.
That yellow valve up there, is it supposed to stay off?
Yes, that's for when you're doing a blow down and cleaning everything out. Whether it works or not. Okay, on the far left, this toggle switch is for your rear spotlights. If you're backing up and you don't want to get out and hit that toggle switch back there, just turn them on right here. All this right here is for your winterization system. We'll probably never use it. It's for like when they're up in Alaska, really cold environments. That's just a failure warning that the system's not working correctly. This is a booster heater. If you look in some of the compartments, you're going to see little fans with radiators. That's those heaters to keep the compartments warm. And this circulates the water in the tank, keeps it going round and round. So like I said, we'll probably never ever, I doubt if it even works. There's an ether start back there, ether bottle, but I'm sure it won't work. Self-explanatory compartment, open. This is your parking brake, your differential lock. The thing about these differential locks, and I don't know if it's normal for all differential locks, but once you engage, you have to line up to where you're going and then engage because you can't steer worth a crap. Okay, so make sure you got lined up. To start the truck up, you have to hit the battery switch back there. Then you got your master switch, your ignition switch, and engine start. This is the ether start button, so just these three switches, 1, 2, and hold it until it starts. To shut it off, that's all there is to that.
So you got to flip something back there each time?
No, back there,
Master power.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, the battery switch. So yeah, hit the battery switch, 1, 2, 3, and gauges are all pretty much self-explanatory. This light here tells you if your dry chemical system is charged or not. Remember when I said you could either hit those two switches out there or the driver could hit theirs? They're right there. So if you're 150 feet out that way, you don't got to come running back. You just give them the signal. Self-explanatory gauges. You got your beacon light up top, your headlights, clearance panel. I wish the clearance panel would come on with the headlights, but they don't. So you have to hit both of them if you're driving at nighttime. Dimmer switches down here in the bottom. That's
Cool right there.
yeah.
That's right.
This is your windshield wipers. They're really finicky. I mean, so sometimes you turn them on, they're going 50 miles an hour, and other times they're just going real slow, and you have to play with them.
Are they electric or air?
Air. 1,000 gallons of water, 130 gallons of foam. Well, obviously, we're not full here. And this is when you charge your dry chem system.
What's this need to be at when you charge it?
I think it's up around 350, 400
Do
usually.
we have any
Yes, it's got 500 pounds on it.
that has nitrogen too?
Yeah. When you're wanting to pump, this can pump and roll. They always taught us take our whoever's going to engage the pump. I'm driving. He's going to say, "Okay, prepare to engage." So I'm going to take my foot off the accelerator, let my RPMs drop down to idle pretty much, and then you can engage your water or foam. Please tonight, just engage the water. We don't want that mess. So you flip it to the water. Before this is the only pin that you have to pull out. Don't mess with these two up here because that loosens your turret, so you can take it out. So you're going to pull this pin out, and make sure this falls down. That'll give you up and down and left and right. Your button here, it's not going to do anything until you hit the button. You'll hear it pump engage, but it's not going to rev up. But once you hit the button, that's when everything revs up and just starts shooting out. This is the windshield coolant to get water down. And don't let this thing here trick you. If somebody puts that off, you're up here, you ain't getting water. And I mean, I freak out every time it happens, and I always forget about this switch. Just leave the switch turned on. It don't hurt a thing.
What is it? Say?
Maybe-
Pause.
It says
Maybe we
on
can
and
put a
off.
piece of tape over it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah,
That way, for future references, you know, if you see tape, don't touch it.
yeah. The only reason that's on there really is for when you take the turd out, people don't accidentally
Yeah,
charge,
you have
you
a-
know. Yeah. This here takes it from straight stream to fog stream.
Okay.
So you're spraying,
Up is straight.
yeah, up is straight, down is fog.
Okay.